going to get weird this week. We're talking about some crazy special effects that you can add. If I'm ever going to add some crazy special effects, I probably would do it last. So this is going to be like any kind of crazy effects that we wouldn't use in our normal mix. If we want to make this song a little more special with some craziness, it works nicely in pop music or EDM. Probably wouldn't do much of this for like grassroots Americana or folk music, stuff like that. But, you know, I'm just going to show you a bunch of very random, awesome, crazy effects that you can do. And you can choose to implement these in your songs as you wish as a producer. Okay, so why don't we start with some of the basic stuff. One effect you're definitely very familiar with is called filtering. We filter things with the EQ, and however you want to approach it is up to you. You can totally just like be kind of lazy and quick like this and copy the part to another track and just add an EQ to that track to add this one-time effect. Or you can do some automation. I'll show you a little bit of both. I'm going to create like kind of like a post-chorus kind of effect with this. And I'm just going to grab the my from the lead and just kind of have it repeat. But I think I want it to start sooner. I'm going to have it start on the 1 and then have it repeat on the 1s. Do it, All right, so I'm going to do it the lazy way first and just copy it to a whole other track. So with filters, you know, you've heard like that telephone effect. We can create that super easily just by cutting out the high and the lows. So I'm going to put my low pass and high pass filters in. I've always hated the way those are named, high pass and low pass, because I hear the word high. I feel like we're going to hear high frequencies, but you're only allowing the lows to pass in a low pass and no highs. And then in a high pass, you're only allowing the highs to pass, but no lows. So this is actually the high pass, and this is actually the low pass, by the way. I'm going to make that cue a little bit tighter. Cool. And let's see what it sounds like. Do it! Also, I actually have a low pass filter on that original because I don't really want to hear it. I just want to hear like the bass. When you hear like that we're outside of the club kind of sound, that's a total low pass, like a very low pass. If you want to hear what that sounds like real quick. Maybe we're walking into the club now. All right, you get the point there. Let's see how we're going to filter this part. That's really annoying. Cool. So yeah, adding a filter somewhere to just add a little extra texture is super cool. I do it all the time. If I'm not going to have any automation, I might do an audio suite version of it and then just process it in place. So you would do like a bounce in place if you want, or you can just drop it to another track that you don't have anything else on, so it won't interrupt anything else. Or you can automate it. Automation is one of the things I talk about in the Learn to Record course. So if you don't know how to do automation, check out the Learn to Record. All right. So I'm looking for my low pass frequency and my high pass frequency. High pass frequency. All right. So those are the parameters I'm allowed to automate. And then in Pro Tools, those automation settings are now going to show up here. So if you just want it on a certain part, you can automate the bypass. What I would maybe do is like have it completely bypassed all the time and just assign the automation of where I want it to turn on. So as you can see. How we gonna make it through it? What's it gonna take to do it? So you saw the automation, how it turned off and turned on. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on or the whole way out. Okay. So let's try a cool automation where I want the low pass to start very closed and then start to open over time. So I'm going to need to open my low pass automation and set it to, we're starting it low, starting it pretty low, and then we're going to open up over time. So we're going to raise the frequency all the way up by the end. So it looks like this.
What's it gonna take to do it?
All right. Cool. That's going to have a much cooler effect on like a more continuous line. So let's just, for fun, see what that sounds like if I were to drop this part right here.
Whoa, how do we ever get this way? Where's it gonna go? Ooh, how we gonna make it through it? What's it gonna take to do it?
So that's kind of neat. A little closed and then opens up over time. Very EDM effect. So that's filtering. Pretty straightforward with what you can do to play with the different filters on EQ. Now, however, there is another plugin. I want to show you Filter Freak. It's pretty fun. Yeah, we don't need our automation anymore. So there's some pretty cool presets on this. We get to hear a little bit better with a continuous line, so I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to cycle through some of these presets and show you Filter Freak by Soundtoys. And by the way, Soundtoys has a ton of really killer plugins, and I'll show you a bunch of them today. So I highly recommend grabbing the Soundtoys bundle. It's definitely worth every penny. However, they always have a great Black Friday sale, so check that out.
Whoa, how do we ever get this way? Where's it gonna go? Ooh, how we gonna make it through it? What's it gonna take to do it? Whoa, how do we ever get this way? Where's it gonna go? Ooh, how we gonna make it through it? What's it gonna take to do it? Whoa, how do we ever get this way? Where's it gonna go? Ooh, how we gonna make it through it? What's it gonna take to do it?
All right, this one's my favorite.
Whoa, how do we ever get this way? Where's it gonna go?
Totally used this one for like a crazy effect in my sample pack. All right, so that's it for filtering. Let me show you a couple more fun things to do that's like a little bit more by hand, and then I'm going to show you some of my favorite plugins that kind of do a lot of the work for you. So stutters, it goes in and out of style. What Nicki Minaj is like really big on her stutters. I can make your bed rock. I want to just edit this little thing here to do something else that I don't like what it's doing. Ma at the end. I'd rather it be I'd rather it have more of a stuttered effect. So actually, I might even cut out some of the in-between M's. And I want to give them a little fade so they're not so harsh. So that's like a stutter example in its simplest form. But maybe I will grab just a little piece, and I have my grid on 16th note. Let's just do 8th notes, and actually probably want to put them on the 1 and 3. So here's a simple stutter.
It takes to do it.
Yeah, super basic, simple stutter. I'm gonna throw my auto-tune on.
It takes to do it.
Sometimes you hear the stutter start with only, 8th notes, and then it'll change to 16th notes.
It takes to do it.
Okay, there's a function in Pro Tools to consolidate a file. So it's Shift Option 3, and then it consolidates the file. So see what your function is in your DAW if you're not in Pro Tools for consolidating a file, because then it's really easy to just do a long fade across it. So this should just make it sound a little cooler rather than just this harsh like out of nowhere. Might lighten that. Let's maybe do like split the difference. All right, cool.
What's it gonna take to do it?
I didn't even hear a difference. Okay, maybe we'll do the harder fade.
What's it gonna take to do it?
All right, what I'm probably gonna do too is gain it down.
Gonna take to do it.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, you can totally play around with the grid, and we can even go crazy and do like a 30-second note, like stuttery thing at the end. I might just grab a piece of the middle of the word even. Let's just see what it sounds like. And something I do in Pro Tools too, Command D duplicates it. And then what I'll do is I'll select it all and then hit Command F. And that gives me my batch fading. And then I can say, how long do I want my in and out fades? How long do I want my cross fades? So I have it set to 40 milliseconds. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see. Wait, let's see. I have them going equal power. I don't think I want that. Let me hit that again. No, I don't want equal power. I'm going to go equal gain. And actually, maybe I'll even do none. So it kind of gives it like a dip in between. So let's see what that sounds like. I don't even know. So for any reason you want to do that, there you go. If you ever want to try this effect that sounds kind of like the machine just broke, that's also fun. I might even go as far as 64th notes and do the same thing. But like maybe not over the same length of time. Is that the middle? All right. Same thing. Command F, get it faded. It just kind of sounds like something broke for a second. Why not? Just know that is an option. So that's stuttering. Next, I want to show you how to do a reverse reverb transition effect. This is very popular, very, very, very cool. Let's maybe do it into the next my. The way you would do this is just grab like right after the word started, because you don't want to reverse reverb in the beginning of the word. You kind of want like a solid one note. You just want to focus on one note. So I'm going to option drag this over here. And what I'm going to do is basically process a reverb right on this one note. But let me back it up and give it some more space. But I'm going to do it over a larger section. So let me also just do a fade just so it's clean. So there's no click. All right. So I'm going to do it over like this length of time. In Audio Suite, I'm going to grab a reverb. Let's grab a Valhalla. Let's just grab the vintage verb. And I like the default setting. I'm going to render that. Oops. I guess it's a 2-channel. This is how I cheat when it's a stereo. And I'm trying to do something not stereo. I'll just select 2 tracks and trick it to thinking we're in stereo. Hit render. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm just going to throw out the other stereo side. And then I'm going to go back into my Audio Suite, and there is a plugin called Reverse. So you should have a reverse function in your DAW if you're not in Pro Tools. Render that, and we have a reverse reverb. Often the very end is a little loud, so sometimes I might even cut this off and just have it end here. And then like I'll pull it up so it kind of blends into the beginning of that word. this is what that'll sound like. It's kind of harsh, actually. All right, so there is like a cut in the beginning, so I'm gonna fade it even more, but I'm gonna do it a little lighter. Cool. I'm gonna turn it way down. I mean, it also sounds really intense because I don't really have music playing. This is like hella filtered. Sounds really nice blended in the mix. Cool. I'm even gonna try. How can I make this sound a little more pleasant? Right now it's a little too sharp for me. Not sharp in pitch. It just sounds like needles. So I'm going to maybe I'll process a little low pass on it. So it's not so high frequency heavy. Maybe I'll keep the Q a little softer. Another thing I want to try, because it sounds like just way too bright for me, is I'm going to try to turn the formant down. I'm going to show you this plugin again later, but I'm just going to turn the formant down maybe -4, and see how that feels. Ooh, I love that. I want to show you something similar, another kind of transition like that, which is reverse delay throw. I'm just going to copy kind of same way. I'm going to copy the whole first word. Let's just put it somewhere on grid. Let's just put it right here. Feels good. So let's just do something similar, printing a delay. Let's go and use that Valhalla delay we like. I like. And then we have to decide how many notes. I probably will stutter it like 1/8 notes maybe. Let's just grab that preset we found before. Simple digital 1/8 note delay. Let's do a 1/4 note. All right, let's go ahead and render that in place. Okay, now that I have that delay processed, I'm going to go in and I'm going to reverse it. Go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to put it where I want it to be. Let's see, maybe this is the right spot. Well, let's check it out. I think I'm going to pull it over a little bit more. Again. Let's see how it feels here. It's a little slow for me, but it's kind of neat, no? I feel like the last one is way too loud for me. Cool. I'm actually going to consolidate this so that I can do an even bigger fade. But first of all, let me just like lower the gain on all of it. Nice. Can even fade it even more just to soften it. Cool, that's kind of cool. How else can I make this better? I kind of want to just like give it a little extra reverb just on this part. So this is a little naughty because I say we're always supposed to use sends for our reverbs, but in a case like this where it's an effect, I'm just going to turn the mix way down, and it's kind of acting like it does the same thing as a send. Oops. We need 2 channels, so we're going to cheat. All right. Perfect. See how it sounds. Kind of cool, huh? And then the reverb goes on a little long for me, so I'm just going to fade it out, delete that, and this is going to be it. Kind of cool. Now you know how to do a reverse reverb and a reverse delay throw. All right, so moving on. You've heard of a vocoder, very popular in disco. The Weeknd, has used it. Well, a very, very real vocoder is when you sing into this tube and you play on the keyboard, and then what comes out the speaker is what you're playing on the keyboard and what's going in the tube. That is an original vocoder. A digital vocoder is going to be basically you have the recording playing through the vocoder, and then you have MIDI notes telling it what to play. So I'm pretty sure that's how, Imogen Heap did Hide and Seek. She's playing it. She's probably pre-recorded her lead and then is playing the keys at the same time as that lead vocal, and it's creating all these harmonies. I don't have that ability. And honestly, I think I can make it sound pretty darn similar without doing all that work and controlling MIDI. So why don't we do that to our my's? So what's really happening is it's taking one single vocal and it's doubling it a bunch of times and then pitching it. So it sounds super fake because it's one vocal just being repeated over and over. There is this like phasiness to it. So we could very well just copy the lead multiple times and then change the pitch of it in Melodyne, kind of like how I showed you when I couldn't hit that note. We could do that. That takes a while to create all the harmonies. But a faster way to kind of get the same sound might be to just hard tune all your BGVs with auto tune. So just to put everything on 0 might give us the same kind of feeling as a vocoder. So let's check it out. And then the difference is going to be that they are all separately sung. So it will sound, in my opinion, slightly better. But if you want that vocoder true sound, what we would do is just use the same actual vocal over and over.
Whoa. Whoa.
Now, what happens if we turn the humanize all the way up, but leave the retune speed all the way down? Let's see if we can hear the difference.
Whoa.
I actually love that. It sounds less like auto-tune. It's removing a lot of the T-Pain effect, which is that note transition. That's like super hard note transition. So humanizing it doesn't humanize it. It just helps with that note transition.
Whoa.
Now if we just put it in our backgrounds. Yeah, it kind of has a little disco effect to it. So let's do a similar thing. I'm going to do something scary and delete these. And I'm just going to copy and paste these two over and over and recreate the harmony in Melodyne. See if we can get it to sound more like a vocoder. And then I'm also going to leave that hard tune, auto tune on to also add to the vocoder sound. Let's go ahead, make our cuts. Snap it all to grid. All right. Crazy. Okay. Next, same thing. Melodyne this part. Oops. All right. Just going to double check that it sounds right.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Sounded quite crazy. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the modulation.
Whoa. Whoa.
Don't worry how crazy it sounds. It's going to sound better when we play everything together. Sounds very crazy by itself. All right, let's listen to the next one. All right, let's make a lower harmony now. By the way, it's sounding like it's not allowing us to hit certain notes, and that's because it's also responding to auto-tune at the same time. Whoa. Whoa. All right. I'm good with that. Let's hard tune it with some modulation. All right, let's do this one. Stereo pairs, so we're just doing the same thing. Drag it down. Whoa. Sound crazy. All right, and then last but not least, what should we do? Let's do like a super high one. So we already did. Sounds cool to me. Okay. All right. Sounds crazy, but now let's see. I'm going to mute the leads. Does it sound like a vocoder? A lot more like a vocoder, for sure. However, like I said, I think it sounds better if we just do hard tune. So that is your option. So there you have it. If you want to go for that disco-y kind of cool background, now that I've completely ruined this song. All right, now I'm just going to give you some silly sauce, which is the plugins that I used to do a lot of the heavy lifting for me when I made my sample pack. This is like such a plug. It's literally a plug-in. Let's just grab the how we going to make it through it. Let me just start with the H. I'm just going to option drag it down so I can do a fade. Make it through it. Oops, I want that too. If you've heard me say the word phasing, this is what phasing sounds like. How we gonna make it through it? When you have two of the same exact waveform playing at the same time, they're fighting. How we gonna make it through it? Versus how we gonna make it through it? That's phasing. So first, let's go through basically the Soundtoys bundle because they're a big favorite of mine. You saw a micro shift already. You saw Little Altar Boy, but let's look a little closer at Little Altar Boy. This is basically your pitch and formant shifter. And it's really cool to add a super low octave and low formant underneath and tucked in to your background vocals to give it this like real deep, cool effect. You would easily just like pull the pitch all the way down and the formant all the way down. You got to be careful with the pitch because if you put it to something else, you'll accidentally pitch it to like an incorrect note and then it's not in the right key anymore. Like maybe you could get away with a fifth or like a seventh down, but you got to just listen to your song and your key and see if it works. Like listen to this. Here, I'll put the formant back to normal so we can hear. How we gonna make it through it? Okay, so like a fifth down is still kind of in the key, so you can kind of make it work. But notice how ugly it sounds when we just pitch down. How we gonna make it through it? That's why you kind of got to do the formant at the same time. How we gonna make it through it? Much better, much better. One thing you can do is leave the pitch totally zero, and I love adding this as a background or sometimes just putting it on like one line in the song. I'll pull it down to like maybe -4 and it has this effect.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Maybe 6. Because I'm singing higher, it doesn't sound as good, but it sounds nice on a lower vocal, such as this is a little lower.
My, ooh-wee.
Super cool. Does not sound familiar from a lot of like EDM stuff. Definitely a popular effect. You can add a little bit of drive. I kind of never do.
My, ooh-wee.
Which brings me to saturation plugins next. There is an effect in their bundle called Decapitator. This is very popular in sync licensing. Kind of gives it a cool sound. Love playing with this with the presets, but also you can just control the plugin itself if you want.
My, ooh-wee.
Maybe I want it to be a little darker, so I'll cut the highs down a little bit.
My, ooh-wee.
Play with the tone.
My, ooh-wee. My, ooh-wee.
Or you can just play with presets.
My, ooh-wee.
I like this one, 70s record.
My, ooh-wee.
But I'll probably turn the tone to dark.
My, ooh-wee.
Love it. Love, love, love this plugin. There's tons of presets. Let's see. Let's see the actual vocal presets. Angry Vox, okay.
My, ooh-wee. My, ooh.
Classic rock Vox, okay. This is like how saturation is probably supposed to be used. It's very light. But if you want to use it as like a real effect where it sounds like you're singing through a guitar amp, then you can turn that drive way up. If you put just a little bit like this classic rock Vox is doing, that's just a nice mixing technique that doesn't need to be necessarily like an effect.
My, ooh-wee. My, ooh-wee.
See, that doesn't even really sound like a lot. It's very tasteful. If I bypass it,
my,
that's like without it. This is with it.
my.
Super subtle, really, really nice. All right, let's see. What are some more Soundtoys? So Soundtoys is really known for their awesome distortion and saturation plugins. Devil Lock kind of does the same thing, in my opinion.
My, ooh-wee.
I don't know, maybe it's just more hot sounding.
My, ooh-wee. My, ooh-wee.
Yeah, so it's basically like more distortion plugins or more distortion effects. They've also got this one called Radiator. So let's see what this sounds like.
My.
I like that you can make it noisy or clean. I like clean better.
My, ooh-wee. My, ooh-wee. My, ooh-wee.
That actually sounds super nice on just like a regular vocal. It just super cleaned it up, which I don't think it is the intention. It just sounds like another distortion plugin to me. All right, Soundtoys also has like great delays like Echo Boy, but I just want to be taking you through like the crazier stuff. They have this plugin called Crystallizer, and it's probably going to sound exactly how it sounds. It's going to turn everything into crystals.
My, ooh-wee. How we gonna make it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
How annoying is that shit? I did manage to find a use case for this. I think I printed it though, and then like I just took like a little bit of it, faded it out real fast. You are hearing it go on forever and ever, I think, because I'm guessing it's the recycle knob. So maybe what if we turn the recycle to like minimum?
How we gonna make it
Still kind of goes on forever. But yeah, this is called a granular synth sound. Find a use for that. I did use it. I did use it once. Primal Tap. This is a delay plugin, but it's probably more fun than your average delay.
How we gonna make it through it? 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 We gonna make it through it. How we gonna make it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Oh, that's super cool. Super lo-fi slap under Primal Tap. Make note. Nice, nice. Let's get into some Baby Audio. Baby Audio has made Super VHS. So let's just put this on loop and play with some of the settings.
How we gonna make it through it? 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 How we
It does have a distortion knob, the heat knob, but it's more of a let's make it sound more vintage, I think. Wash sounds more like a reverb, but drift is cool. It drifts the pitch a little bit. So what it's doing is it's drifting the pitch back and forth, and it's causing this like old school, like, the record is playing accidentally too slow.
How we gonna make it through it? 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 How we gonna make it through it?
All right, cool. So yeah, as you can see, you can mess around with just basically the little parameters it's given you and find a sound that you like. All right. Next from Baby Audio is something called Smooth Operator. This is not really an effect, but I just want to show you. Smooth Operator is kind of like Baby Audio's version of Soothe 2, where it turns down your resonant frequencies. I'm just going to go to the Rob harsh vocal and press play. So this isn't really an effect, but I do want to show it to you because it's a lot cheaper than Soothe 2.
How we gonna make it through it? 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 How we gonna make it through it?
So the harder I pull this down, the more it's dipping these frequencies if they're resonating strongly. Just consider this maybe an alternative to Soothe 2 by Baby Audio. What else do we have from Baby? Spaced Out is another Baby Audio. This one's super fun. I used this a few times in my sample pack just by cycling through the presets, which are right here. And Baby Audio is pretty fun how they make their like parameters changing. Like sometimes it's just a matter of like clicking another button or like moving this somewhere else on the screen just to hear like what it'll do. But I'm just going to cycle through their presets.
How we gonna make it through it? 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 How we gonna make it through it?
Spaced out. We getting spaced out.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
And you look at the names of these parameters. Stardust. I love it. Would you like more or less stardust? What is stardust?
How we gonna make it through it? 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 How we gonna make it through it?
It plays with our sense of space, echoey, very fun. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby audio. I Heart New York is another one by them. So this is a parallel compressor, and I use it sometimes when I want to get a really cool, super crunched, like super slammed EDM vocal. Let me play it along with the music and show you what it sounds like.
How we gonna make it through it?
Okay, so I'm going to spank it all the way up, and I'm going to pull up my parallel signal a little bit.
How we gonna make it through it?
And as I pull it up more, you're going to hear it slam to death.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Is that a familiar sound? It's very, very electronic.
How we gonna make it through it?
Yeah, very, very slammy. I don't love it. I like a more natural sound myself, but that's definitely something you should know. Next, I want to show you my favorite output. Output's known for Output Arcade, which is like a sample library, but their effects are incredible. So the first one we'll look at is called Portal. You can really get into some dope sound design, but you can also just literally play with the presets, make little adjustments like the dry and wet, and get some amazing stuff, making a loop so it can cycle through. Okay, here we go.
How we gonna make it through it? Make it through it. How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
If you want to make like a cool EDM drop, or if you want to like print some of these effects and then tuck them into the background somehow, maybe verb them out.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Or if you're making a sample pack. So cool.
How we gonna make it?
Sick.
How we gonna make it through it?
That already sounds like a drop.
How we gonna make it through it?
And it sounds like it regenerates every time I hit play. It's not playing exactly the same thing. So it'd be really cool to bounce this in place and then have a guaranteed same sound every time. Like I wouldn't probably leave it on as a plugin because it's going to behave differently every time. So I'd probably print it in place.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Like, how freaking cool is this stuff?
How we gonna make it through it?
Ooh. Love that one.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
And by the way, in Portal, in these output plugins, if you just click on the name of it, it brings you to the full, it brings you to their full library. And I want to star ambient light because I really like that one. You can star your favorites and then scroll down here, use favorites, and these are our favorites. So this was one of my favorites, I guess. Super cool. Nice. Super sick. Let's go down to some sound design ones. Oh, gosh. So it's getting super weird. I told you we're getting weird today.
Are we gonna
Make it
Whoa. Sounds like an alien.
How we gonna make it through it? We gonna make it through it. How we gonna make it? We gonna make it through it. How we go through it?
All right, I don't want to overwhelm you. That's Portal. So as you can see, you can do some crazy, crazy stuff there. They have another one called Thermal, which is going to be a saturation plugin mostly. Heat, anything heat is going to sound like distortion. But their presets are freaking sick.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
It's not always just like drive. It's always drive and something else cool. So it's always just so fun to play with.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Unreal. Like, doesn't even compare to like Decapitator. Like, come on. And that's like the industry's most favorite distortion plugin, Decapitator by Soundtoys. But Thermal, I'm sorry. Output, call me.
How we gonna make it through it? 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 How we gonna make it through it?
Love it.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Woo!
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Crazy.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
So yeah, if you get this output package, I would definitely be going through all these and pressing the star. Let's see what favorites I've. These are all the ones I've favorited. Apparently, I have a lot of favorites here.
How we gonna make it through it?
Very, very tasteful.
How we gonna make it through it? 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 How we gonna make it through it?
Apparently, I like the tasteful ones.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Ooh, I love that one.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Feel free to screenshot this if you're like, I can't listen to all these. These are Kim's favorites.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Then you got to go hunt for them. I don't know if you can type. I don't think you can. Is there a search bar? No.
How we gonna make it through? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through?
Oh, I love this one.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
What? Like, what is that?
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
So cool.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it?
Ugh, freaking love it. Love, love, love. Whew. Okay, another one. It's called Movement. Movement. So movement is going to be all delay type stuff. So I'm just going to cycle through a few of these and you'll get the point pretty quickly.
How we gonna make it through it? How we gonna make it through it? Make it through it? Make it through it? Make it through it? Gonna make it. Make it through 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 it.
Okay, so this one does not have a favorites, I don't think. But look how many presets, like insanity.
How we gonna make it to it? How we gonna make it to it?
Like you will never run out of things to listen to. So honestly, like I kind of have a rule, or I'll end up fatiguing myself out. When I hear something I like, I go for it. I just say, that's the one. I don't want to sit here and go through over and over and over. Like I just have to commit and move on, or I'll end up like listening forever and start fatiguing out. I'm already fatiguing out, but I still want to show you more. I want to show you one last insane plugin. It is called Infiltrator by Devious Machines, and I'm a big fan of this button. It's 2 dice. Roll the dice on the preset, and yeah. So this is very, very intricate sound designing plugin. So if you ever want to get into sound design, get Infiltrator. Holy crap! But if you also just want to roll the dice, get ready. If you know what hyperpop is, this stuff is great for hyperpop. Not all of these are going to sound good, but when you find the one, you find the one, okay?
How we gonna make it to it? How we gonna make it to it? How we gonna make it to it? How we gonna make it to it?
Really great for drops.
How we gonna make it to it?
So basically what a lot of these presets are doing is they're just using the voice as something to trigger all these different machines, basically. Sometimes you won't even hear the vocal itself because it's just triggering machines. Like, what even is that? Wow. Oh my God.
How we gonna make it to it? 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 How we gonna make it to it?
All right, I'm gonna open up the browser and like maybe see what some options are and actually try to listen to things on purpose. Let's listen to soundscapes, atmospheric stuff. I feel like I'm torturing you. Okay, let's just go through one more. Let's just see what's in the lo-fi folder. Sounds not so scary. Still scary.
How we gonna make it to it? 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 How we gonna make it to it?
Whoa.
How we gonna make it to it? How we gonna make it to it? How we gonna make it to it? How we gonna make it to it?
Wow.
How we gonna make it to it?
Yeah. So I'm going to stop there or I'm going to get lost in outer space. But yeah, so guys, these are some insane effects you can use to add a little something extra. Don't go too crazy. Let's stay like 1 foot on Earth, 1 foot in outer space is totally fine. And again, like you can like do one of these crazy effects, but then like tuck it way in the background and then turn the reverb way up so it sounds like it's coming from like super far away. Like that might be so cool. I hope this class was inspiring. I hope it didn't freak you out because some of these sounds were getting a little crazy for me. But yeah, it's endless what you can do with special effects in your DAW. So have fun. Your homework is to finish your mixes, add at least one cool effect, even if it's just simply like a reverse reverb, something like that, or like a stutter, whatever is appropriate to your genre, of course. And then next week, it's going to be kind of like a full recap. And then you get to see my workflow. I want you to see how I incorporate all of these things that we've learned over the last 7 weeks into one session. I did show you all these different things in kind of a step-by-step way, but when I am actually doing a session, I don't necessarily go in this step-by-step order. It kind of all happens at the same time. Like I kind of tune as I go. I time align as I go. I fade and crossfade as I go. I mix super fast because I use templates, and I encourage you to make your own vocal template if you haven't already, so that when you open a new session, it already looks like this. It already looks like your routing is already set up. Your panning is already set up even. Your plugins are all plugged in. I really encourage you, save yourself some time by making a template. And that way your mix is already halfway there. I'm literally just like changing a couple little things and then I'm done. Like it's super fast. Over time, I might resave my template again and say like, oh, the last mix I did was so much better than my template mix. Or I keep doing the same changes like every time. So I notice I should probably go back and edit my template. And it's just, I'm constantly improving and improving on my template. Highly recommend that you do that as well. I even have like an auto tune on first lead vocal on my template, just set to nothing so that like it's already there. Like I don't even have to go looking in the menu and finding it and clicking it. Like it's already there. Everything is super, super streamlined when you have a template. And so, yeah, I'll see you next week. I'll go into the booth and we'll record this epic song, which is kind of like the most eclectic genre I could think of. So I can show you as many of my arrangement techniques and vocal production techniques as possible so that you can really see all of it in action. It'll be super fun. I will see you there.